Scott Bessent agreed to speak at the New York Times Deal Book Summit. I think it was that in California, and interviewed by Andrew Ross Sorkin. If you're the host of a morning show on a business news network, or you're an assassin, you got three names: Andrew Ross Sorkin. And Andrew was asking him about Donald Trump. The recent report in the New York Times said Donald Trump was slowing down. His schedule was lighter. It really offended people in the White House. And then, of course, the president fell asleep at his cabinet meeting yesterday. So Andrew was asking Scott Bessent about all of this. And one of the reasons the president likes Scott Bessent is he is like J.D. Vance and Caroline Leavitt. He is ferocious going after the media, just ferocious. His Bruce Banner to the Hulk transition is aroused by nothing more than when you bring up something he thinks reflects liberal media bias. So watch sometimes mild-mannered Scott Bessent react to Andrew asking him about the New York Times coverage of President Trump. This is number 9, please.
You had what was one of the greatest scandals of all time, that the coverage of the Biden administration, Joe Biden's diminished capacity, and the cover-up.
And that's why it's probably fair to raise these questions.
Where was the New York Times? We just had a 3-hour cabinet meeting yesterday, Andrew. For 10 months, the Biden administration did not have a cabinet meeting. How are you going to invoke the 25th Amendment if the cabinet secretaries never see the president, which they didn't? That, I hear from people in the Treasury building that I see President Trump more in a day than my predecessor saw Joe Biden in half a year. So,
Katie, you find that guy a bit intimidating? Like if you were interviewing him,
yeah,
and he did that, yeah, I find that kind of intense. Who's getting the best of that Andrew Ross Sorkin Scott Bessent exchange for you?
Yeah, I also quite enjoyed doing it, with the New York Times logo in the pictures all over behind you.
Yeah.
Look, I think Scott Bessent's doing what he likes to do, which is to come out swinging. I mean, the question is the story true or not? Obviously, we then had these logs come out this week where, leaked, I think, to the New York Post, which was showing actually he's working so hard and we've got the secret documents to prove it. So, I mean, the thing is, you can have a situation where Donald Trump is nowhere near the state of Joe Biden, and it's still a valid story to write about. But yeah. I think Scott Bessent will have made his master happy with that appearance.
Yeah. Do you get a sense that the press is thinking through its performance in the wake of the Biden controversy, which again I've called the biggest media scandal in American history? Do you get the sense the press is covering this administration differently and a little bit back on its heels, or reflective of its failures in recent past, or no?
I think to a degree. I come have a bit of an outside perspective on it because when I moved here, I think the week after I moved here, I went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And, there was no comedian, there was no president. But what you did have were journalists giving speeches. And one was from Alex Thompson, who went up on stage and said, we all need to be embarrassed and take a minute to think about our failures on covering Biden. And certainly it feels to me some of the coverage of Trump's second term is less shrill than Trump's first term. But in terms of, are they treating them quite the same fairly? I'm not sure. I think that the press corps seem a bit more sober in some of their reporting than previous, and are trying to check themselves a bit.
Cozy Earth, 40% off. Amazing. 40% off the softest towels, sheets, pants, and towels you ever did own. Go to cozyearth.com, use the promo code TWOWAY for a full 40% off. If you order before December 12th, guaranteed for Christmas delivery. And if you get to the post-purchase survey, please say you heard about Cozy Earth here. Bamboo sheets, bubble cuddle blanket, 40% off. The jogger pants, you'd think, well, those couldn't be, 40% off. Even the t-shirts, which are the softest, nicest t-shirts you'll ever own, all 40% off. Order again by December 12th. Get it before Christmas. Go to cozyearth.com. Use the promo code TWOWAY. Give the gift of everyday luxury this holiday season. So buy the pants for yourself. Buy them for someone you love. And if you buy the pants for someone else, I'll expect a nice tweet or text on Christmas saying, Mark, you're like my secret Santa. Thank you for your help.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.